good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Corny cop, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Karagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, Haley, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. And this portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, I got to give a quick shout out to the people listening to us on X, formerly Twitter. I just want to say hello to them and Pinigi for dropping in on the live version of us. I know we get like around 4,000 people on our social medias watching pretty much per day. And I think they're here to watch you, Haley, and see how many mistakes I make.
Oh, well, at least they're watching. Pinigigi.
Exactly. Hey, did you have a good weekend?
Oh, I so did. You know, it was like jam-packed full. I was enjoying the weather, feeling the summer heat. What about you?
Well, you know, it was Mother's Day. So, you know, I have my birth mother in Tennessee, my wife's a mother and also a stepmother, and then also a fur dog mother. We hung out, and then I have a deceased mother, and then my Gaga, which is your great grandma, Helen. I posted a picture of her with me when I was a young tot before I was put up for adoption, and I had blonde hair, and I was kicked out of the tribe. Wow.
You know, I did see that post. That was really cute. And yeah, I think, you know, honoring everyone in our life who takes on that mother role is really important. And yeah, great picture of Gaga Helen there. I haven't seen that portrait one of her, but I've seen the one with you with blonde hair. Yeah,
that's funny that you say that, Haley, because we always exchange pictures and things like that. What we have, I just got that picture from my nanny Jan a couple days ago when I talked to her. I talked to her on Mother's Day, and she sent that to me along with a couple other things that I asked over via the Facebook Messenger.
Oh, well, Pinigigi Auntie Jan for sending that.
Yeah, so I was at we're going to have, we possibly will have a guest tonight. Dr. Stately will not be with us, so we will not have as much fun, but, you know, there's things going on. And, you know, Haley, I was just at a meeting, and I got to say this because, you know, Dega got a bad memory and might not be able to say it the rest of the show. So I want to, it's in the forefront right now, so I thought I'd bring it up, is that I was dealing with the Met Council today, and I won't say too much more about that, but there was a couple people that presented, and I'm 62, and we were always river rats, meaning us in St. Paul, whether we were having a libation party down at the river, underage drinking that we do not agree with at all here in 2024. Right. But it's interesting because drinking age when I was in high school was 18. So, you know, you could still be in high school, but that's a whole nother show. And, but, you know, I remember being down at the river and people not wanting to put their foot in it, not wanting to swim in it. Right. And the few people that did swim in it, you were like going, these guys are crazy. So, you know, I'm talking about the 70s when there was hardly any eagles running around. And now we got quite a few now. And you got to be in a good way, you know, and look at them. And, you know, they're our relatives, and they stopped using DET or DEET in and so the eggs were now no longer soft, and so the eagles came back. But they were talking about, I've never heard, and I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of a historian, and especially with the Twin Cities and Native stuff, and I never heard this. So from 1922 to 1936, there was no fish in the river. It was so polluted.
Are we talking like the Mississippi River that runs through downtown?
Yes,
Wow.
from the Minneapolis St. Paul. Basically they found 3 fish, and one of them they even counted when they scooped it up and counted them. He died, or he or she died, but they still counted them. So really, there was only 2 fish in the Mississippi from St. Paul to Minneapolis. That's how polluted that river was then. I mean, raw sewage pouring in there.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly. And so they've really cleaned it up a lot. I've swam in the Mississippi as of recent, but I won't swim past Bedote, and that's where the 2 rivers meet, the Minnesota and the Mississippi.
Sure.
You can see the Minnesota River so polluted from all that factory farming. It's a different color when they merge.
Wow.
So
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because, I was just talking with someone too about it, because I hang out, along the St. Croix River, kind of more, north before it comes the Minnesota River, and it doesn't look bad at all.
No. And I think they've done a lot of things over the years, and the Met Council was talking about a lot of the things. I had no idea how many things that they got their fingers in. There, and sewage is one of them, clean water. And I brought up the fact, and especially we have all those 3M.
Oh yeah, right by me.
What is it? The phosphates, or what the heck is it called? It's forever.
The forever plastics, the chemicals. The P.
Yeah.
I can't think of it right now.
Right, but that's it. It starts with P, right? So I with my nation, have been learning so much about hemp and cannabis, because we want to get into the game, and they threw us all in jail, so hopefully we can reverse that and become suppliers of this once this becomes legal in Wisconsin and in Minnesota, of course. So you don't have all these big businesses coming in that the tribes got the first dibs. But anyways, they talk about growing hemp in these contaminated areas, and it cleans it up. So, I mean, if you grew hemp, not cannabis, but hemp by these lakes or these waterfalls, it cleans up those PFCs or whatever the heck they're called.
Sure.
So I brought that up to them, and I saw them jot it down. So maybe, but that's an interesting thing with hemp and cannabis, how much that was not only a medicine, but people like Levi Strauss is heavily investing in cannabis and things like that to switch their genes and become more, I don't know, it's cheaper to grow hemp than it is growing trees and tearing them down and all that. If you're in a warmer climate, you have like 3 growing seasons, not even to mention a lot of the marijuana is being grown inside via water, and that's 3 or 4 seasons.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that makes me think too, like what kind of other native plants can we kind of bring back to the area that would help, our air pollution. Speaking of the Twin Cities and our wildfires up north right now. I mean, yesterday you couldn't even see the Minneapolis skyline. It was so bogged down with wildfire smoke.
Yeah, good point. We should talk a little bit more about that next segment, but my goodness. The PFASs, thanks Nancy Bolio. She just put that in our chat.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Nancy.
We're going to have Nancy on soon. I just had a talk with her. PFAS are widely detected in soil, groundwater, and surface water, and are associated with multiple industries and activities, including industrial production and processes, firefighting foams, commercial and consumer products, landfills, and wastewater treatment plants. So we need to combat that, because that's a forever chemical.
Yes, and we need to end deforestation, as Shantina says, too.
Right on. Well, we love Shantina. Hey, she's one of our all-time greats. We got to have her on the show again sometime. Remember when we didn't have any guests and we were begging people to come on, and she came on? That was awesome. We got to do that again. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after the short break.
Stay with us.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a go-to card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. That's 612-373-3333.
Attention, Native American community. As we prepare for American Indian Celebration Month in Minnesota this May, it's essential to prioritize the health and safety of our communities. With social gatherings and festivities on the horizon, getting vaccinated against COVID-19 is crucial. So let's make getting vaccinated a tradition, inclusive, and cross-generational. Imagine gatherings filled with shared stories and cultural celebrations free from the shadow of COVID-19. Remember, protecting yourself and others is what counts. Whether it's time for an updated vaccine or your first shot, all COVID-19 vaccines offer protection, with the latest vaccine especially recommended for our elders over 65. As we gather with friends and relatives this May for American Indian Celebration Month, let's ensure everyone's safety by getting vaccinated. Together, we can uphold our traditions and keep our communities thriving. For more information, including details about clinics offering free vaccines, visit vaccines.gov. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Love that tagline, really do. I always say that every week. We're here. Haley and I are holding down the fort here, and that was kind of a colonial term, wasn't that? Just
ooh, yeah, definitely.
Colonized here. We have a fort right here, and we got a bunch of engines here, and yeah. Hey, so we're talking. I want to, before we get into, we're going to have Wendy on later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's got a great segment that we recorded earlier, and before we get too far ahead, it's just like I want to talk a little bit about the smoke that you touched on, and I think we should have probably led the show off with that discussion because I've been outside one time today, and I went to my car.
I know. After yesterday, I've been inside. Like we had to turn our AC and air filter on and everything.
Yeah, and just timing wise, our 20-year-old central air conditioning fan went out as we were testing it yesterday because of the weather. And, I don't like the heat. I'm really old. I like having air conditioning on. And, Wendy and I are going 70 degrees is, our go-to. And when it gets warmer, we get crabby and sweaty.
Yeah, I feel like everyone does. Like Minnesotans, I think just like most of us don't do well with the heat. Like we're so used to the cold and the frigid Arctic temps. But I mean, yeah, a great reminder to start your ACs up before it gets too bad, and make sure those are working.
Yeah. Well, I thought I did, but we got the air condition guy, Mike Gozzi's son's coming over, Tony, who has his own native business, AC business, and he'll be coming by. Yeah, he'll be coming by tomorrow. And those guys advertised with us years ago, so I'll have to hit him up for that while he's fixing, make sure he fixes the, air conditioner fan first, and then I'll hit him up.
Yeah, and check on your elders, too, who are in, like, those community living places. I know a lot of them don't have their AC units put back in from, yet this season. So bring those fans over, put those requests in to put those air conditioner units back in. Yeah.
Really good point. And it's coming from Canada, and I saw some video of it. It was off a road because I heard last year, which we had, I believe, 21 days of really, really bad. That's a month of summer taken off right there that you couldn't go outside and enjoy. what we have 11 months of winter here in Minnesota, and we need a break. We have beautiful summers, and if you can't go out, what a big bummer. So we had 21 or 23 days last year, and we're starting off on a bad foot here with these fires up in Canada.
Yeah, it's a big reminder, too, when you bring up how many wildfires and the days that we had to deal with smoke. I think last year was probably like the worst I've ever remembered it, living here.
Yeah,
sure.
I've never seen anything like that. And Wendy was in New York, and they got it bad. If you remember, the city was
orange.
It was unbelievable. Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to Dennis there. Those guys do great work. We got to get those guys on the show. They do a lot of great crafts and things all over the Twin Cities. Native Blend, and check them out. Native Blend, I do believe.com, but
okay.
They're
in Michigan.
Yeah,
Michigan, cool.
Yeah, my memory, so it might be .org, but try .com.
Try them all.
Right. They're free, so give it a try. Maybe Dennis can give us his email or his website address there for Native Blend, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Haley, I was at the powwow. I missed you. I heard you were lurking around there, and I was lurking around there for an hour or so.
Making appearances.
Yeah, shaking hands, kissing babies, those kind of things.
I don't know about that, but,
Well, that's right, COVID. Never mind.
Right. Yeah, well, I just heard, actually, since we just mentioned COVID there, is there a new strain that's out again? Oh. I thought I saw something they're calling it flirt.
Oh,
which is very weird.
Yeah.
It probably stands for something.
We need Dr. Stately on to give a breakdown. And I think it was funny last time we were on, we really didn't talk about medical stuff. I think we were too busy teasing each other for an hour.
That was a funny one.
Yeah, it was, definitely. And, next time he's on, we do have to talk about that because, it's still there. It's still happening. And it's funny. I still see people masked up, which is great.
Yeah, well, and it's so important, too. We're probably, the 13th day of American Indian Month here in Minnesota. So always, events going on. Like we said, we were at the powwow this weekend. That was a little Earth's Mother's Day powwow in Minneapolis at Cedar Field.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. They had grand entry at 1 and 7. It was a beautiful day. It was kind of right before the wildfire smoke got into the cities.
Right.
So it was blue sky and, partly cloudy. A lot of vendors. There was it was a really good big turnout.
Yeah, it really was. And like I said, I only went for a couple hours. Wendy was celebrating with Mother's Day a day earlier with one of our daughters, and I wasn't invited, so I went to a powwow instead. Oh, wow.
Well, that's why they have Father's Day.
Yeah.
A Jaji's Day.
Yeah. Well, every day is Jaji Day.
Oh, yeah. You heard it first.
Well,
okay.
Okay. All right. Well, we're lulling ourselves into sleep here, and I hope we're not doing her.
Good night.
Yeah. Hey, so we got some stuff going on here, Haley, and I don't know, you got some things popping up here. Why don't we have a discussion of what's going on here? It's still Indian Month, and even though, for me, every month is Indian Month, but Minnesota's celebrating it this year.
Yeah, the only state, I believe, that dedicates the month of May, the entire month, to American Indian Celebration Month. So let's check the calendar here. Today, they were doing so it was fishing opener this weekend. So they were doing a fish and wildlife conference at Prairie Island. Tomorrow will be it just says the name of a lake and a time, so I'm not sure what that is. We have American Indian Month proclamation at St. Paul City Hall tomorrow. Yeah, Tuesday the 14th, 9 to 9:30 in the morning.
Wow, we got to make it down to that.
Wow.
Right?
That's pretty early for me.
Yeah, just pretend it's night. Hey, Dennis, why don't we just give this address, too, for our listeners, is www.nativeblendllc.com. So you got to get that LLC in there.
Okay, yeah, we were forgetting that one.
Right. So what else is going on there, kiddo?
Yeah, this week we have Wednesday, the 15th, honoring our youth celebration at South High School from 5:30 to 7:30. And at the same time, Dream of Wild Health will be doing a cooking demo at VA at 2 p.m.
Wow. And who's doing the demo? Is it our Ho-Chunk relative?
That's a great question. They just have Dream of Wild Health. But I'm sure if you were to look Dream of Wild Health up, they would have more info for sure. Yeah.
And the last few times, I can't think of her name, Victoria. I'll have to look it up for the next segment. But she's Ho-Chunk. And what's interesting about her, and I'll get the name as soon as we break here, is that she was an iron worker in Chicago. Really? She's a Ho-Chunk from Chicago, and one of the few and first of all, Native women, but also women in the years. And now she's using her skills as to show people how to make food out of our sacred food here, instead of like a McDonald's cheeseburger, which I'm kind of like want one now that I mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, Native food. Yeah, they in Dream of Wild Health, like, they have their own farm and everything's, indigenously grown and picked. And I think they talk a lot about, too, like, making art with the food and the colors. And, they all kind of represent their own thing and have a story. So I think that's really cool. And they always have those really great recipe cards, too, for healthy meal options.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Luis, I want to say a big happy Native Indigenous Month, Indian Month to you, too. I always love seeing, her and a couple other people on our chat and mentioning stuff. I can't remember that one show that we panicked and we begged people that were have them on. We gave them the phone number or the link, and people were like,
Yeah, I love that. I want to mention this too quickly. We have on Thursday the 16th here in Minneapolis, it's the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center open house from 1 to 3. And then also one of our great sponsors, NAC, Native American Community Clinic, will have their open house on, is this Friday? I want to say the 17th from 12 to 3 in Minneapolis.
Yeah, that's Friday. And the sad news, and we talked about it last Monday, no colon to walk through.
Oh, yeah, no inflatable walking colon to walk through and take your picture.
All right, get a selfie next to that pull-up.
Next year, hopefully.
Right. We're going to have that removed. But, yeah, it's a good reminder. The age has gone down to get your colon checked. And first of all, that's scary. And second of all, we got to talk about that.
Yeah. So, that's something that, we should be going in for regular checkups, especially as, if you're Indigenous, you are, Native American. I feel like we have more high statistics in that. I know we got about a minute left here. I want to mention our Ho-Chunk 5K quickly that we went to on Friday. That was so fun. Thank you, Big Pinigigi, to Danielle DeLong for hosting that.
Yeah, well, she was a founder, and then she was the MC, and she founded it 13 years ago. And I just got to give Native Roots Radio a big shout out for being one of the corporate sponsors. We give back to the community.
Yeah, it was always fun to see our Ho-Chunk relatives, especially those that drove in from Black River Falls and the Dells area.
Exactly. All right, hey, this is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and, we can say that this is a show about something. Ho-wah.
Stay with us. As we gear up for American Indian Celebration Month in May, it's crucial to prioritize our health, especially with celebrations on the horizon. If you start feeling off, like a fever, a tickle in the throat, or heavy fatigue, don't ignore it. Take an at-home COVID-19 test right away. And remember, if you're not feeling well, it's okay to stay home. Your health comes first. A quick note on COVID testing. The Minnesota Department of Health's free COVID-19 at-home testing program has ended. But don't worry. If you're uninsured, you can still find no-cost tests using the CDC's COVID-19 testing locator. If you have health insurance, you might be eligible for free tests or reimbursement for testing expenses. Just ask your local pharmacy or health insurance provider for more information. Stay informed. Stay protected. Let's prioritize our health this American Indian Celebration Month in May and ensure our communities and elders remain safe and healthy. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health. Visit health.state.mn.us.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Does your partner make fun of you in front of friends or family? Emotional abuse is sometimes hard to recognize, and an abusive partner may say they were just teasing. But teasing can escalate into something more harmful. If you have questions or concerns, Strong Hearts can help. Call or text 1-844-762-8483. That's 1-844-7NATIVE. Or chat online at www.strongheartshelpline.org. Safe, confidential, anonymous, 24/7.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College. Your journey to success starts here.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car, or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 47, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 71. Maverick's Real Roast Beef is an East Metro treasure, and they're so much more than just roast beef. Maverick's is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Visit their website at mavericksbeef.com.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, there's a couple things I want to bring up too, Haley, that I've noticed is on my radar, my sacred radar. And in a couple months, in July 25th to the July 28th, is the 150th homecoming celebration, Winnebago Powwow, which is huge. And I have never been to that, and I think we might have to take a road trip.
Whoa. What are the dates again?
The 25th to the 28th of July.
I would love to. You know, yeah, it is so interesting, too, when we talk about being Ho-Chunk and, you know, my dad's enrolled Winnebago, tribe of Nebraska, but, you know, they're the same thing.
Yep, same people. I mean, you're my blood relative, and your dad's he's my cousin, right?
He's your first cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. Hello. Hey, so also, too, that's something to put on your calendar. And also there's a reminder that the Lynx regular season is starting, I believe, May 14th on Tuesday against the Seattle Storm. Check your, well, that's hard to say, local listings. I almost said check your choka. Oh,
check on him, too. Check on your grandpas.
Exactly. Hey. And then another thing I wanted to bring up, too, is Jim Thorpe, who we know is the greatest athlete of the 20th century. And, you know, there was Jim Thorpe before there was Bo Jackson. And he did it all, and he was an Olympic gold medalist, and of course it was taken away. Jim Thorpe, and it was returned just recently. Former Toledo Mudhead baseball player, first Native American to win an Olympic gold medal for the United States, was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom last Friday, and that was big news.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, definitely. And there's it's just amazing, you know the whole story. You see these pictures of him, and he has two different shoes on, and that's because somebody stole his shoes, and he had to go out of the trash and dig in the trash and have two missing unmatching shoes. And he won anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't matter,
Haters.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what movie I went and saw yesterday?
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, good guess.
Did you really? I was watching the ads on that, and I was going, this is really interesting. I was watching a lot of clips and trailers from YouTube, because that's what I do.
Sure. Yeah, no, I watched all the trailers too.
I heard it's got a great story as opposed to the last one.
It definitely does. I don't want to give too much away, but I do want to mention that they had an eagle clan in this movie represented.
The apes?
Yep.
Right on. And then they had eagles too, I bet.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. It was very cool. It brought me to some tears.
Really? Well, we'll have to talk about this after.
Yeah, after people go see it more.
Or not on the radio show.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think I can get it if I do...
I'm sure you could rent it from home, or they have.
Yeah, I think it's on one of the streams, and I'll just pretend to do like a month, free trial.
Free trial. I know. I have one of those right now that I need to cancel. So thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what else is going on? I mean, again, it's smoky here. It's getting better though. Let me see what the numbers are right now. By 11 tonight, we should be able to breathe, and I know it affects everybody. And I was a smoker for a million years. I think the last 18 years I haven't smoked, but I smoked from when it was cool, and healthy for you, when I was like 15 years old, when smoking was healthy. Jeez. Until I was in my 40s, and I couldn't walk up the stairs without losing my breath.
Yeah, well, it's hard for anyone. I have migraines, and I feel like that's more of a trigger with the smoke, but then also people with asthma and stuff like that. It's got to be really hard. But yeah, I think the smoke will be dying down come this evening. And I feel like the temperature isn't as high as yesterday, so it might be good to open those windows up too. I want to mention, speaking of smoke, this is something that you brought up to my attention earlier today, that the Ho-Chunk Nation was voting to decriminalize marijuana.
Yeah. And that's a big deal. And I think there's a misnomer out there when it comes to, and that's in the state of Wisconsin on tribal land. There's a misnomer out there that it means that they're going to start selling it or whatever. They just decriminalized it so people can work there, and they don't have, it's just such a bad thing, because BIPOC people, Haley, are traditionally arrested for dealing and smoking and all these things. And in Wisconsin, it's still illegal. So to decriminalize it is the first step to normalize it, in a sense of when Wisconsin does ever become legal, which they'll probably first start out with medical marijuana, like most places, and then go into recreational.
That's so wild to me that they don't have medical marijuana.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so far behind.
It's a red state. Yeah. And we only won it.
Embarrassing for
we only won it by 40,000 votes this last election, and thank goodness. And we get a report from the Democratic governor every week, Governor Evers, and thank goodness he's governor and vetoing all these crazy bills that are coming up out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. And redistricting the district maps for voting to make it more fair. I mean, that's a huge thing. And for women's rights.
Yeah, and I don't know. Did Arvina kind of say that it'll take a few years to really take hold? I think
I
she
think
said
so,
something
to
like that.
show up in the polls, which is
I
a whole
can't
nother
wait.
show.
So the air quality is now 85 here in St. Paul. It's
85?
moderate. I can go out and make sure I'm looking at St. Paul. I can go out and jog around the block now because it was 185 earlier today.
Wow. Was it really?
Yes.
Wow. So almost down by 100?
Yeah, and it's good quality where it was bad air quality before. For everybody, not just asthma people or people that have problems breathing. It was bad for everyone. So it's weird. Our relatives, our squirrels, our foxes, our bears, they were suffering and couldn't get into air conditioning homes. Well, like you, because I don't have air conditioning, but
Right. Not yet. We're going to have to get that fixed real quick.
exactly, because I'll be a grouchy bear,
Yeah. Well, it's just not good to be in the heat that long.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to mention this, Leonard Peltier. This is Leonard. If you want to talk, maybe mention to our listeners who don't know much about Leonard.
Mm-hmm. Wait, go ahead with was it June 11th?
June 10th, he has a parole hearing. So this is a huge thing. Leonard has been the longest political prisoner held captive. He's Native American and, held unjustly for many years, many years. He's the longest incarcerated political prisoner. And, there's been, just advocating for so long to free Leonard Peltier. It's something that we've said at the very end of the show, almost every day on the show is free Leonard Peltier now. And, it's a big thing to keep an eye out for his parole hearing. This has been a long time in the making. So it is June 10th. We want to spread the word, volunteer, donate, not another year. We want Leonard held in prison. He is an elder. I think, we need to get him back home. He's already lost so much from his, not being able to be connected to the land and his relatives. And
well, he's 79 years old now.
Yeah.
And he, I'm reading right here Wikipedia, which is incorrect here because he's not in prison for attempted murder or murder of the two FBI agents. No. He's in there for aiding and abetting. And we know, like, the murder of George Floyd here in Minneapolis, those police officers got 2 years for aiding and abetting a murder, and he's in there for 40-some years, 45 years, right?
Right. And the person that they did have the murder charge on was dropped. Right.
Right. Yeah. And so we want Leonard out. Leonard, really disappointed in Obama. I was going to tell him off. And then when I met him this past couple years ago and, he stuck out his hand, smiled and said, "How are you doing?" And I got the shivers, wanted to kiss him, and then 13 seconds later, I was gone from the picture. So I couldn't tell him off about, Dakota Access Pipeline and not freeing Leonard Peltier in 2017.
Sure. Well, I think, we have some people that work closely with the presidency now, and we have representation. And I think, it's important that we hold those people representing us accountable, too, to bring that to our leaders' attention.
Right. What a way, 79 years old. And if he comes out, that would be great. But still, that's our uncle that's been in there way too long. And we hear things like the misinformation that the FBI trains their own, allegedly, I'll say allegedly, so you don't end up in jail, Haley. Haley is a producer of the show. But is that they train their new FBI agents and talk about Leonard Peltier, and they give all this misinformation about him. So this has been in the FBI's circle for a long time. I remember in the 1990s when Native stuff was really hot. You did smoke signals, Dancing with Kevin Costner. So the Natives were all in that was a joke, by the way. Dancing with Kevin Costner.
Dancing with the Wolves?
Yeah, Dancing with the Wolves. All right, thank you. There, delayed laugh. And we thought Bill Clinton was going to pardon him. That's how long ago.
Wow. So it's been too long.
And then Obama. And even crazy Trump sounded like he was thinking about it just to make people mad because he was so anti-FBI. But everyone put some tobacco out for Leonard Peltier. We want, Haley and Wendy over the years have said free Leonard Peltier now at the end of the show. And we totally believe that. And it'll be a big day for Native Americans all across Turtle Island when he is finally released. So, hey, up next we got Wendy and with her Sacred Animal portion, and I'll be with her. And great show, Haley. I have to go. I must go.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a go-to card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. That's 612-373-3333.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota's senior health options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
This is Leonard Peltier. I am in Coleman 1, U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Oh, good one. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years, and we always say this, but we learned so much from her and all her hard work for our sacred animals, which are our relatives. So, hey, Wendy, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Haley. Thanks, Robert. My name is Hanaji Hihani, and that means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. And it's always my pleasure to do that. And I have a couple of fun facts I'd like to share with everyone. Last week or the week before, I was talking about how important it is when you go to the duck pond or you see a bunch of ducks or geese, not to feed them bread.
Right.
Yeah, well, there's a thing. Yeah, I just recently, how many ducks and geese have I killed in my lifetime by feeding them bread or harm them in some way, right? Jeez. So feeding bread And I just talked about this recently, but I didn't know the name of the damage that it can cause. But it can cause permanent damage to ducks and geese. And they call it angel wings.
Hey.
Yeah, I have a picture of it. I'm going to put it up here. It's called angel wings. So instead of their wings, like, you know, how a duck or a geese, their wings are like close to their body.
Oh.
Yeah, the wings are close to their body. Angel wings means that their wings will protrude out from their body. And this is really dangerous for them because it makes them unable to fly or to migrate.
Weird.
Yeah, I know. I never knew this. So they can't migrate. They can't even fly away to avoid predators. So don't feed them bread. We want to do cracked corn, peas. Peas. Yeah, you could just get a bag of frozen peas. Peas. Yep. Mealworms. I have mealworms. I bought from Menards. They're like freeze-dried mealworms. Romaine lettuce. I guess not iceberg, because iceberg doesn't have very much nutritional value. So romaine lettuce, watermelon, grapes. If you're going to give them grapes, please cut them in half so it doesn't get stuck in their throat and they choke to death.
Make sure there's no seeds.
Cantaloupe. And those are good options for our ducks. So that's
nice.
I know, right? And I want to repeat this again. I did talk to you about this on the show too, Robert and Haley, but I've been seeing a ton of cardinals lately.
Wow.
Yeah, male and female. They just seem to be flying all around.
How can you tell the difference?
Well, the male cardinal is the beautiful, bright red one,
Yes.
and the female is a little bit more grayish with an undertone of red and a red beak. But cardinals can be called a romantic bird species.
Aww.
Yes, you know why? It's so cute. They mate for life, and they stay together year-round. They sing together before nesting and their courtship behavior includes the male gathering food and feeding it to the female beak to beak. Isn't that cute? How cute of a bird is that?
That's really cute.
Yeah, so if you see a cardinal, you could think of that story. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Another reminder that it's the time of babies, right? So a whole bunch of baby animal wildlife are being born right now. And here's a yearly reminder. Baby squirrels running after you and even climbing up the leg of your pants. They are not rabid. They're doing this out of sheer desperation because they've lost their mother and they have been lacking care for days.
Wow.
Young squirrels are an exception in the animal kingdom. When they have lost contact with their mom and suffer hunger and thirst, they gather all the courage and purposefully seek help from humans. Most of these animals are also injured by the fall from a tree on their nose. So please help them out.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
so
weird.
they probably fall out of the tree head first, and then land on their face when they hit the ground. And they will become desperate if they're thirsty and hungry, and they will seek us out. So help them out. We have a great rehabilitation center here in Roseville, Minnesota.
Still do.
Yeah, the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center of Roseville. I can't even tell you how many animals I've brought there. Usually baby ones, right? Like baby squirrels, I brought quite a few. One year a baby rabbit, one time a bat.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
Remember that bat I picked up?
Yeah. You went to Minneapolis to get it.
A friend of mine, had a bat, found a bat, and didn't have time. He was working to bring it over to the rehabilitation center. So I ran over there and picked it up.
We need those bats, right?
We do
With
need the bats.
mosquitoes.
They get all the mosquitoes. Yes.
I learned that on Fun Fact Friday.
I know. Yeah, it was sad. I love the rehabilitation center because what they'll do is they'll send you a little postcard in the mail and tell you what happened to the animal. A lot of times, like when I brought the squirrels, even the bunnies, they wanted to know the address where I got the animal, because once they rehabilitate the animal, they set the animal back in the same area. Because I don't know if they did that with the rabbits, but I think the squirrels they did for sure because they're territorial. But anyway, Yeah, it's a great organization. I send them some money here and there. They do a lot of work. I like to volunteer there sometimes too.
In your spare time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In between painting and taking care of me and Wanda.
Yeah, Wanda's a lot of work. I know. So, couple of fun facts here. It's Fun Fact Friday. I have this list here I've been kind of like picking at. I don't even know. I think there's like 101 fun facts. I'm just going to go to 36 today, and I don't even know number 36. I don't even know if I talked about this or not, but I don't think I did. Giraffes, which we know, right? Most people know, are the tallest land animal in the world, reaching heights of 19 feet.
Whoa.
And do you know the world's tallest bird that can grow up to 9 feet?
Ostrich?
Yes, that's right, Robert.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding. And that's so funny. I have the page open to number 34, and it just all of a sudden clicked to like number 60. I don't know what's wrong with this phone. You know what? Because those pop-up ads come up.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
Just read 60.
No, I'm going to go to 48 now because that's what I'm on. A tiger's rear legs are so powerful that they have been found remaining to stand even after death. Let me read that again. A tiger's rear legs are so powerful that they have been found remaining to stand even after death.
I didn't even know tigers could stand.
Tigers have been witnessed to have been shot, bled out, and died, and remained standing throughout. So I guess if they're like running up a tree to get rid of to get away from the horrible hunter who's shooting him down, they will stay in the standing position.
That's not a fun fact.
That's not a fun fact. I have to read these beforehand, right?
Yeah.
A rhinoceros's
Impocerous
horns are made of keratin, the same type of protein that makes up hair and fingernails. Yeah, that's keratin. I get keratin treatments in my hair to get the frizz out. Just an FYI.
Well, we should get some
advertising
from them, I guess.
Let's see here. What else do we have?
Make it a good one. We got a minute and 10 seconds left.
Oh, my God. Let's see here. Sperm whales are the world's largest predator. Yeah.
That's positive.
The largest insect ever to live was a dragonfly with a wingspan of over 2.5 feet across.
Wow.
I wonder if that was in prehistoric times.
I'm sure it was.
Right?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Oh, I've said this before, and this is pretty funny. A koala, they have fingerprints almost identical to humans.
Yeah.
And a koala could get like arrested for like a person's crime if they were fingerprinted. That's how close the fingerprints are.
Well, everyone has a distinct fingerprint, so I don't think that could happen. But
yeah,
unless there's a body double running around or a finger double.
I have a koala. That's my body double.
Right on. Hey, a happy weekend, everyone. This has been Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Being awake.